Last week, Ontario politicians passed a bill that will give employees 3 paid sick days in the event of illness, isolation, or any other work absence linked to COVID-19. But the program has left many workers with more questions than answers. Thankfully, we have employment lawyer Lior Samfiru here to help us make sense of it all and what we're entitled to. Good morning, Lior. Thanks so much for your time.
Good morning, Candace.
So when it comes to Ontario's new paid sick leave program, what are we entitled to and what obligations do the employers have?
So the benefit itself provides for 3 days at $200 a day, $200 maximum. It could be less if you earn less than $200 a day. And to be eligible for those 3 paid days, you have to have a absence as relates to COVID. So either you're in self-isolation because of COVID, or you're being investigated for potentially having COVID. It's a situation, maybe you're following public health directives, or maybe you're caring for a family member due to COVID. In all those situations, you would qualify for 3 paid sick days that you can use without the need for a doctor's note. So that is important. You don't need a doctor's note for it. Now, those 3 days are not are less whatever days your employer may give you in any event, and your employer must provide that to you. Really, there's no ability to question those days. And for many employees, of course, if they're unable to work, they at least know that that benefit is there for them.
So you mentioned public health directives. At least here in Toronto, the directive is 10 days of isolation. So clearly 3 days would not cover that, nor the time to go and get more tests to prove you can even come back if that you no longer have COVID. So who covers the difference there?
And this is the big problem here, is that the federal government has a benefit available, the Canada Response Sickness Benefit, that would provide for $500 a week. Sickness benefit that would provide for $500 a week in those situations. Unfortunately, if you get the provincial benefit, the Ontario benefit, you do not qualify for the federal benefit during that week. So the net effect of that if you have to isolate for 2 weeks, even if you're getting the maximum benefit from the Ontario government, you really will only get $100 more than you would have received if there was no benefit implemented at all by the government. So I think that this benefit is not particularly adequate, doesn't do much to help employees, and really this whole plan that we were promised would be the best in North America provides for $100 at best before taxes. Remembering, of course, that it does cover you if you have to be vaccinated, or if you're recovering from a vaccine, if you have symptoms, you will still get paid those 3 days.
Okay, so finally, we've also heard from freelancers who feel left out of this initiative. What are their rights?
Well, unfortunately, right now, the benefit only applies to employees, those covered by an employment relationship with their employer. The government has not extended it to all working Ontarians who may be impacted by COVID-19. That's certainly something the government must discuss and consider. A lot of employees don't have or individuals don't have a traditional employment relationship with their employer. And in that situation, they should still be able to earn a living if they cannot work because of this virus.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground. Thank you so much for your insight and expertise. That's employment lawyer Lior Samfiru. Thank you again.
Thank you.